there's a potential nitrogen loss of 30 pounds an acre. What do you think would happen to that 30 pounds if you don't have the cover crop in the ground early? It'll probably be lost to either leaching, volatilization. It'll be lost in some way or another. So if you want all of the benefits of a cover crop or double crop in the fall, nitrogen conservation, nutrient conservation, you really have to plant early, because the bigger the plant is, the more room it has to take up nutrients. Here's another graphic of those 63 sites I keep bringing up, except on the bottom here we have the optimal nitrogen rate. So this is the ideal nitrogen rate for each of those fields. So it ranges from 0 all the way up to a little over 100 pounds per acre. And on the y-axis again we have yield. So a good chunk of our sites, most of them needed between 60 and 90 pounds of nitrogen in the spring. But look here, there's around a third of the sites needed 0. So we added nitrogen and nothing happened. They didn't react. Now we had a couple sites that were deficient in phosphorus and potassium, so that can't be explained by the nitrogen. But look, our highest yielding site didn't need any additional nitrogen in the spring. And that's because the site was well drained. It had manure history in the recent year or two, and they planted before late September. So this is really important. So not all of your double crops will need nitrogen if you have good soil health, good soil fertility, good management practices. So I wanted to go through a couple common questions with double cropping that I've come across over my time here. And then I also have some farmer quotes from people I've talked to in the past couple weeks, hearing about their experiences. So the first question, is it worth it to plant a double crop if my corn comes off late? So if your corn comes off really late, like into October, it might be worth it just to plant it as a cover crop. Maybe you won't get the best yield out of it. So a farmer said, we just keep planting even if the corn does come off late, because rye isn't too expensive to plant. So it could still provide some use to your soil, even if it doesn't yield well for you in the spring. Will the winter cereal impact my corn yields? It might, but I would suggest you rephrase this comment to say, what management strategies can optimize both of my crops? So both the corn silage or whatever you're growing in the summer and the double crop. So a farmer in central New York said that I'm working to shorten corn and soybean seasons to fit the double crops in better. So he's changing around his whole forage system strategy here, because he's wanting this triticale silage all year round. Will I really see soil health benefits? Yes. So a central New York farmer has really seen the benefits to his soil from double cropping I think he's been doing it for like 8 or 10 years. So he said that I think more and more cover crops will be used because of how good it is for the ground. So we are seeing people having good results. Can I try double cropping on my worst ground? What do you think will happen if you're growing something on your worst ground? You're going to get the worst result, exactly. So if you have poor ground, poor organic matter, poor quality, then you're not going to get good yield. But someone pointed out yesterday, this is ideal ground for cover cropping, because that'll improve the soil health, and maybe then it can be used later on down the road for a harvestable crop. So for harvesting, maybe not, but definitely for a cover. Will my cows milk on it? Has anyone had experience with that? Milked on the rye, yep. So a farmer in northern New York said that if it's fermented well, then the cows love it. Once I stop feeding it, their milk drops off 1 to 2 pounds. So cows are really responding well to it if it's managed well. So you have to harvest it at a good stage, so flag leaf to boot, and you have to make sure it's fermented well for it to milk good. Some more quotes, just because they really drove the point home that double cropping is possible and it can provide some good results. So one farmer said that their goal is to have triticale supplies all year round because they like the haylage so much. One northern New York farmer said he doesn't get it right every year, so somewhere he screws up along the line, but he likes that the rye is really durable on his farm. So even if he gets something wrong, it still does okay. That same farmer said that the benefits to his soil are the biggest benefit, even when he needs to grow a shorter season corn or figure out some more labor. Another Northern New York farmer said that they would recommend it 100%. And my favorite, I'm not surprised that more people aren't doing it. So got some good results here. Conclusions, so cover cropping is great in terms of improving your soil health, especially on those fields that maybe are in that quadrant 4 or quadrant 3 that Karine was talking about. And then double cropping can increase your on-farm forage production while also improving your soil over time. And then here's a website you can go to if you want more information. So we have some more impact statements from farmers there, some more information about the trials themselves and how we do them. So feel free to visit that website. So if you have experience with double cropping, please come talk to me. I'm like those farmer quotes, I'm really trying to get some more stories about people's experiences, bad or good. I'm moving into some different research projects now, more in terms of the feeding side. So I want to make sure my questions are directed in a way that people that would be useful to farmers. So my email's there, my number's there. Feel free to give me a call, send me an email if you would be willing to share your experiences with me. And with that, oh, yeah.
If you're going to double crop, you have to be ready to go. You can't wait until then to start.
In the fall?
Yes.
Yep.
You have to have everything ready to go before you're ready to go.
Yep. Yep. You really have to plan for it.
Because the
Absolutely.
day that silage is off, you should be on there planting.
Yep. A couple of the farmers I've worked with that do it religiously every year say that they have the harvester and then right behind them the truck, the planter.
Figuring out how to put the grain drill behind the combine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a really excellent point, because we usually talk about for every day you delay in the fall months, it's kind of like equal to 3 or 4 days in the spring season.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're losing daylight and temperature rapidly.
Yep.
So chase the chopper, and then worry about manure later. You got manure in
Yeah,
there?
you can spread the
Yeah, you can
manure on
spread
top
that
of
on
that,
top
no
of
problem.
it.
Great.
You have to rotate into a different crop. That's why I added wheat. I added wheat and rye straw to my things. That gives me all summer. So you just rotate sections of the farm around.
All right. So if you're really interested in sharing your experiences with us, positive and negative, we just don't want to just present the positive stories. So positive and negative, please get in touch with Sarah. Just to summarize our talk, all 3 aspects of it, we're looking at building our soils so we can better grow our crops, not just 1 year, but consistently over time. And our focus was on building that biologic buffer capacity of our soils, building them up so that they are able to produce and deal with some of the weather extremes that we are seeing in more recently years. To increase the yield and the yield stability over time, that organic matter is incredibly important. That's why we are focusing on ways of building organic matter, keeping the ground covered, cover crops, even double cropping brings in organic matter, even if you harvest it. Reducing tillage, keeping the soil and letting the microbes do their job. Testing for soil fertility, always important. We did not focus on that in our talk here today, but it is remaining one of the most important aspects. That also includes pH management, making sure we manage at the right pHs. We want to make use of manure wherever we have it, because it is a tremendous source of nutrients, and it helps with nutrient cycling and building it, but we have to do it in a responsible way so that we don't have it run off or leach through the soils rapidly. And then the cover crops or the double crops to build our rotations along the way. And with that, that was the end of our talks here. Again, come and talk to Sarah if you're interested in sharing some of your experiences with double cropping specifically. And if we have a few questions.
Have any of you considered or done possibly any research on how continuously flooding land will affect the soil as far as its organic matter, as far as its microbes, as far as its leaching out of these different things? Have any of you done any research on that?
continuously flooding, like annual
Well,
flooding?
that seems to be, yeah, I mean, I have 45 acres on the Unadilla, and last year it went underwater 3 times. And some years it's dry, but other years it goes under, 2, 3, 4 floods in a year. And especially with these weather patterns that we're seeing now. Has there been any research on that?
It seems to go under later too, doesn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, last year.
It used to go under when it was real cold and frozen, but now it seems to go under.
I was given the microphone back, so.
I
We
don't
have-
have any more answer than you do.
Wait.
I think no. I'm not aware of research on that.
Yeah, no, me neither.